There is a story about Zhuangzi that startled people in his own day, and it still has the power to startle us now. When his wife died, his old friend Huizi came to the house to offer his condolences, expecting to find the philosopher sunk in grief. Instead, he found Zhuangzi sitting on the ground with his legs sprawled out, beating time on an upturned bowl and singing a song. Huizi could hardly believe his eyes. This was the woman who had lived with him for years, who had raised his children and grown old at his side. To shed no tears was bad enough, but to sing, it seemed monstrous, almost an insult to the dead. So Huizi spoke up, and you can hear the indignation in his voice. To live with someone all those years, to bury her, and then to drum on a pot and sing, surely that goes too far. And Zhuangzi answered him gently, not as a man defending a strange habit, but as someone who had looked long and steadily at the way things actually are. When she first died, he said, of course I grieved like anyone else. How could I not? But then I began to look back, all the way back to the time before she was born. And not only before she was born, but before she had a body at all. And not only before she had a body, but before she was even a breath of energy. In the great mixed-up swirl of things, something changed and there was breath. The breath changed and there was a body. The body changed and there was life. And now another change has come and there is death. It is all one long sequence of transformations, like the turning of the four seasons, spring giving way to summer, summer to autumn, autumn to winter. She is lying down now to rest in the great house of the universe. If I were to follow her with sobbing and wailing, it would mean I had understood nothing about the way of things. So I stopped. Now it would be easy to mishear this as coldness, as if Zhuangzi simply did not care. But that is not it at all. His grief was real. What changed was not his heart but his vision. He widened the frame until death no longer looked like an enemy crashing in from outside, but like one more turn in a wheel that has always been turning. Birth was a coming together. Death is a coming apart. Neither is good news or bad news in itself. They are simply the breathing in and the breathing out of the whole. This is what the Taoists call the Great Transformation. Everything that exists is borrowed for a while from the same vast store of energy, and everything is eventually returned. The clouds become rain, the rain becomes the river becomes the sea rises again as cloud. Nothing is lost, but nothing stays the same either. We are not solid little selves marching through a fixed world. We are eddies in a moving stream, shapes that the current holds together for a season and then lets go. To rage against that letting go is, in a sense, to rage against the very process that gave us our turn in the first place. Zhuangzi has another way of putting it that I love. He imagines a great smith casting metal in his forge. Suppose a bit of that metal leapt up and cried, I insist on being a famous sword, nothing else will do. The smith would surely think it a very strange and willful piece of metal. And so it is, Zhuangzi suggests, with a person who clings desperately to one particular shape and refuses to be melted down and made into something new. The universe is the great smith, and we are the metal. Whatever it makes of us next, we can trust the hands that are doing the making. He even jokes about it. What if, he wonders, the transformation turns my left arm into a rooster? Then I shall use it to announce the dawn. What if it turns my body into a cartwheel? Then I shall ride along on it and need no other carriage. There is no horror in this, only a kind of delighted curiosity, the playfulness of someone who has made peace with change so completely that he can wonder what surprising form he might take next. The thread that runs through all of this is acceptance, but not the grim, resigned acceptance of someone who has given up. It is a warm acceptance that comes from trust. Zhuangzi is not saying that loss does not hurt, or that we should pretend to feel nothing. He is saying that beneath the hurt there is a deeper rhythm we can lean into, the rhythm of arriving and departing, gathering and dispersing, that holds everyone who has ever lived and everyone who ever will. When we stop fighting that rhythm, fear loosens its grip, and we are free to grieve honestly and then, in time, to sing again. In the next chapter, We will leave the riverbank of mourning and walk out onto a bridge, where Zhuangzi and his sharp-witted friend Huizi lean over the water and argue, with great good humor, about whether the fish swimming below them are happy. It is a small scene, but it opens onto one of the loveliest questions in all his writing: how we ever come to know the joy of another being at all.